Do we have a forum?
There's 4
Okay.
of us. Yeah.
Okay.
There really only has to be
4.
3. Okay, it's 6:30. I'm going to call what's today's date? February 3rd Heritage Preservation Board to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mrzinski,
Here.
Mr. Sprecher,
Here.
Ms. Hallett,
Here.
Ms. Ryan, Ms. Danoff. Oh, she's not. Oh, Ms. Kaplan.
Are you here?
Here, yeah.
I saw her.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No comment.
Okay. Any public comments that's not on the agenda? Doesn't look like it. I'm sorry? You will be if you're going to be speaking. No, if you're just here, that's great. Okay, wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Okay, number 4, the minutes from the January 13th meeting. Did you guys get a chance to go over those?
Yep.
If so, I'd like a motion.
A motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Kaplan,
Yes.
Ms. Hallett,
Yes.
Mr. Sprecher,
Yes.
Mr. Mrzinski.
Yes. Okay, number 5, quasi-judicial announcement and swearing in of speakers.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Before I do that, I do want to inquire, is the applicant here?
Don't know. Are you, either
Are
of
you all
you
the
the applicant?
applicants? You're not the applicants. Okay.
Okay, well,
I can say, I spoke with the applicant this afternoon. She said, yes, we have a meeting at 6:30. I will see you at 6:30.
Is Nikki
she's not.
coming? You
I
spoke to
I
Nikki?
spoke to Nikki.
Do you want me to
Well,
go
you know,
check out in the parking
she-
lot?
You could.
See if she's
Is-
out there?
do you guys want to give her a couple of minutes, or do you
Yes,
want to move
yeah.
on, or what?
I'd take unless maybe a 5-minute recess or if staff has anything else that they want to talk to you about that's not part of the quasi judicial hearing, or hold off on that. Otherwise, I don't suggest you go forward with the hearing if they're
We
not here.
won't.
If,
We won't.
is it necessary to have her here?
Well, we talked about that last
I
month.
know,
And we believe
yeah,
we would prefer it.
because it's, it's kind of cut and dry.
Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't discuss the case, the application right now until we decide what we're gonna do procedurally. Sounds good. Do you all want to take a short recess and see if we can reach the applicant?
Kim just went out.
Oh, Kim did, okay.
sure. 5 minutes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that would be 6:38.
last time,
No.
last month. I had COVID, so I
Uh-huh.
put a number on me.
Okay,
Thanks for not coming.
All right. So where we left off, I'm the city attorney for the record. I will be giving you a quick overview of quasi judicial hearings. I'm going to also swear in all witnesses and then ask you all to have any disclosures. So a quasi judicial hearing is different than a legislative hearing in that your job as quasi judges is to listen for competent, substantial evidence, either from the city's professional, the applicant, anybody else that is here to testify, and you want to apply that to the criteria that's in the code. And that criteria in the code is also expressed in the staff report, which is also competent, substantial evidence. So essentially that's the process for quasi judicial hearing. So also part of a quasi judicial hearing to show fairness is to make sure that if you have had any conversations, done any research on your own, or did a site visit or anything like that outside of this hearing, the way to cure that would be to just disclose that here on the record. So, Mr. Chair, I would just suggest that you go down the line, and if you have no contacts or disclosures, just say none.
okay. How about you? None? None for me. What about you guys? Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. So at this point, I will swear in any witnesses that will be testifying before the board today. Please stand and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, you have the meeting.
Thank you. Okay, the first application is 24.83 for 2026 Hibiscus Certificate of Approval to add awnings to the contributing structure. And we'll ask the staff to make the presentation.
Good evening, Caroline Lamford, Principal Planner with the City of Tarpon Springs. So this first slide is showing you the location of the subject property on North Hibiscus Street. Here's the subject property's location within the National Register and Local Historic District. This certificate of approval is for installation of awnings at 2026 through 2026 Hibiscus Street. It is a contributing structure. This slide is showing you kind of the zoning context for the subject property. It's within the city's downtown core in our special area plan. This is the picture of the property from the Florida Master Site File. This is just showing you on the 1913 Sanborn, those first 3 buildings had been built at this point, and then by the 1919 Sanborn, that 4th property had been built. And what this is really cluing you in on here is that in the 1919 period, there was a wood frame structure outside of the masonry structure that remains today. So that was likely a balcony or something to provide cover over the sidewalk as people were going down the street. I'm not going to run through the whole history of this project. Essentially, over the past couple of years, some renovations have been done. The project was brought to HPB in March of 2023 when you issued a conditional approval for the storefront replacement. It came to light that what had been constructed wasn't exactly what was in that conditional approval. Came back to HPB, weren't able to get an after-the-fact permit. From that point, the applicant appealed the decision of the HPB to deny the after-the-fact certificate of approval. And the Board of Commissioners deferred decision-making and wanted us to go get some more information on what could be done with the property. So following that, I consulted with the county historic preservation specialist to try and determine what we could come up with as an appropriate remedy for the situation. So this is what the subject property looks like right now. And one of the larger concerns that the county historic preservationist had was these additional windows up at the top. And that is where he suggested putting awnings back on to cover those windows would bring it back to a more historic condition. As you can see here from the picture on the right, and also its picture from the Florida Master Site File, it did have awnings for much of its history. So while not fully curing the issue, this would mitigate some of the unsympathetic alterations and perhaps could be a solution to so I'm not really going to go through all of our normal standards for review. We just need to make sure that they follow, our rules for new construction consistency. This would be mitigating the issue with the new windows. It would be in line with the neighborhood district. There's plenty of buildings surrounding that have awnings such as are being proposed. And it would conform with the city code and other requirements. And this is just our page about awnings from the Design Review Guidelines Manual. And so staff is recommending a conditional approval of this application with the additional condition that a restrictive covenant will be placed on the land. So that conditional approval that you issued in March of 2023 would be included, it would run with the land. So anytime in the future when work needs to be done that requires a certificate of approval, that conditional certificate of approval would still be in effect. And with that, I can try and answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
No.
Could you just sort of, in a nutshell, sort of just explain the restrictive covenant? I mean, what does it do? What would be the reason for it?
So from my perspective, the restrictive covenant would say, okay, this is still what needs to be done at this property at some point in time.
Okay.
And anytime that the building perhaps would go up for sale, somebody would see that is still kind of it's a restriction on what can be done with the
It's
property.
something that hangs with the property,
Yes.
not with the owner.
Yes, it hangs with the property.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions for staff? You guys? Okay, how about the presentation by the applicant?
Like Caroline said, I don't want to go backwards. I only want to go forward. I do accept the fact that the restriction stays with the property. I have no problem with that. And I want to move on with going ahead and providing the awnings to cover the windows, which would satisfy the city and everything, and everyone that has questions about those windows that are now there. And that's it. And I have forwarded to Caroline the covering, was it specs of the covering, Caroline, that we're gonna have? Boulevard awnings, which have done most of the job, most of the work in Tarpon Springs, is going to provide me with the awnings, with the new awnings. And they're just waiting for your approval for me to request the work. And it will be done immediately, and it will stay covered. The windows will stay covered.
Mr. Chair, for the record, could I have the applicant please give your name and address for the record, just so you,
All right, my name is Nomiki Vavlis. I live at 1403 Circle Drive, Tarpon Springs, Florida, 34689.
thank you.
Okay, any questions for the applicant from the board here?
No.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question?
Yes.
So of the applicant.
Uh-huh.
You understand that what his staff is requesting as a condition is that a restricted covenant would be recorded in the public record attached to your property, will run with your property, essentially putting anybody on notice that all the construction will be in accordance with a certificate of approval. You're aware of that?
Yes,
And you agree to that?
I agree to this.
Okay, so you will execute it if
I will,
this is to be
I
approved?
will
Okay.
execute it, yes.
Okay.
No more questions from the board here? Any public comments? Okay. All right, I'm going to close the public comments. And I'm going to close the comments from staff and then the applicant so we can move on. You guys are okay with that? All right. So now it's up to us. Let's talk about it, see what we want to do about this.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
Just,
It's,
yeah.
it's not perfect, but it's doable.
It will.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is you're agreeing with staff recommendations?
mhm.
So, we make a motion.
And if I could, just so everyone's 100% clear, what's in the packet, starting on page 32, is a draft of what would be recorded. My office is still going to finalize this, but the main part of this is, and I'm going to read the condition into the record, any future construction requiring a certificate of approval will require the restoration of the historic storefront cornice to be visible on the building facade. So that puts everyone on notice, and then we'll still finish this into final form so it can be
You
approved.
have- Excuse me. I do have a question. Are you going to put canvas awning,
Yes. Sometime,
not vinyl?
no, it's the same material as the red ones that you saw, because I had those red ones before.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
But in a slimmer way to fit the building. Caroline, I think I sent you a picture.
I'm not sure that I
You
have a
don't have it?
picture.
I think I have one on my phone.
Oh, we would
No, okay.
get that.
Yeah. It would be just as an awning coming forward to cover the windows, so the windows are not showing.
Okay.
So when people are looking at the building, they would not see the windows. Just a black, not a black, but more of a, the same color as the frame of the building, awnings covering those windows.
Okay.
It's gonna look
That sounds
pretty.
good. It'll be pretty.
Yeah, it's gonna look pretty.
Mm.
It'll make the building look longer.
I got one question, probably more for the lawyer than anything else. Run that by me again. Now, is it when this property is sold, or if the property is, let's say, overhauled or worked on again, that it would have to be brought back?
So anything that's recorded in the public record, obviously, any kind of transfer of property, any mortgaging, it puts someone on notice that if someone were to basically buy the property, or anyone that's looking at a title search on the property, they would realize that this restriction is attached to that property and that they would know about that. So it's an extra layer of protection, I guess, for the city to ensure that anything that happens in the future, that this particular condition is realized.
Okay, so that's more or less, whoever buys it, will be in the agreement, of course. And if they do repairs or anything like that, then they've got to do something with it.
Yes, so the trigger is any future construction requiring a CA. That's what triggers it, but so it's just another legal effect, and the types of things, people do title searches for when they refinance property, they do title searches when they sell property, things like that, so,
Does it ever come into play if it's the same owner, if next year she wants to do something else and she comes in front of this board?
I mean, it's still in effect, it's still the approval is still your approval, It's still, but to come to staff, they're not required to do a title search or provide
Right.
title papers. But this approval, the certificate of approval, if you do it, if you authorize it, then it is still, that condition still applies. But we're also going to take a step further and record this in the public record.
Okay.
That way, no.
Did I get that right, Caroline? Thank you.
You want to do anything?
You're looking at me for an,
I'm looking at anyone.
Okay,
I'm
I'll make a
fine.
motion, that we accept the recommendations for approval and with the
Restrictive covenant.
restrictive code of covenants.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay,
second that.
second that,
Any discussion
more discussion.
on the motion? Okay, well, let's, I guess we can call a roll call.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
Ms. Hallett?
Yes,
Mr. Sprecher?
Yes.
Mr. Mrozinski?
Yes,
okay.
okay,
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
You're welcome.
thank you for coming.
We'll be anxious to see it.
Can't wait. Now, Caroline, do I just start ordering the material and having them come and install, or do they have to go
Okay.
through?
Yeah, I think you would just need a building permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
They know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you again. All right, number 7, board and staff comments. Carolyn, do you have anything else to say about anything?
I just did want to mention that I did have a discussion with our state certified local government coordinator the past week. And the Elevate Florida program is about to really kick off. It will affect our historic neighborhoods, particularly we've seen a lot of applicants to the program in the Fruit Bowl area. Also, while we're out here, just to advertise that a little bit more, if anybody is interested in participating in the Elevate Florida. It's a program that the state is working to help flood-damaged homes be elevated, so we have less damage in the future. So I may be coming back to you if it becomes, because as it is now, even with the emergency situation, elevations would still need to be reviewed by you. But if that becomes an issue, I may be coming back to you, asking for either additional meetings so that we can help these people get their homes elevated, or some other solution to the problem. But they're still going to need to go through the regular permitting process. They're still going to need to be reviewed for compliance with our design review guideline manuals. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up, though, that the state is pretty serious about this and wants to move pretty quickly.
Great, thank you. Any comments more from the board? Nothing? Okay, number 8, adjourn. It is 7:01. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you
everybody.
for coming. Every Monday, first Monday of the month, we're here. So come on down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Down on our